1930s and 1940s, the Holmes High School Marching Band began something special. By the early 1950s, the band was already doing amazing in numbers and performances. The most obtainable competition records are around the late 50s and late 60s. The first impactful band director was James K. Copenhaver. Mr. Copenhaver led the band up to around the late 60s to early 70s. After Holmes, he began teaching at Morehead State University, Clemson University, and most famously, University of South Carolina.
Education today, that it's hard for a lot of kids to get money to come to school, and oftentimes they have to work, and they have to work while they go to school. They can't do the band activities, such as the athletic band, the Carolina Marching Band. So it's important that we continue to raise scholarship funding for these students so that they can continue in the band.
From Covington, Kentucky, the Holmes High School Marching Band.
Before I made this part, I didn't have any photos from the 60s, though after looking around I did find some from the 60s. Here they are. Around this time, the marching band had between 80 to possibly over 100 members. The marching band was considered undefeated at this time, mainly in the tri-state area but also in southern states. Other than many people knew, this was just the beginning for the band. Enjoy the rest of this clip of the Contest of Champions in Tennessee. This was in 1968. In 1971, DCI, Drum Corps International, was formed. DCI brought a lot of interest into marching band. Marching band originally was considered just a halftime show for football. Though, with the help and hype of DCI, marching band was seen more competitive. By 1972, DCI was booming. Holmes would also take small parts of DCI style marching. Holmes still kept a primarily traditional style marching band, only taking influence from the drill of DCI, not the visuals. Around 1970 to 1971, Mr. Copenhaver was placed as assistant director. He eventually left Holmes somewhere around 1975. Also around this time, the marching band was known as the Marching 100. 100 musicians, no more, no less. There's not much info about the director besides his name, Alan Couch. During the 60s to 80s, Robert Crowder was teaching elementary band. Mr. Crowder prepared students for the marching band. Mr. Crowder was like a father to many of the students. There's not much information available about this show. That also includes basically the entire year of 1970. Due to the lack of info in public records, I believe this was a smaller competition. Nothing really impactful. Please enjoy the rest of the clip of the show. The only photo I can find with who I believe is Mr. Couch is this one, the man to the very right. Many new things were introduced to the band in the 80s. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce AJ Mills, a member of the marching band and class of 2031.
Hold on, guys. I have to get prepared.
Take as long as you need, AJ.
Anyways, hello, I'm AJ. I'm so cool and so niche. Just, I will be voiceover for the 80s. But I joined marching band because it's so freaking tough and so awesome.
Like Colin said, many new things were introduced to the band. The red Busby hats were removed and replaced with Shakos by 1984 to. The marching band also introduced their own competition. The Holmes Castle Marching Classic was a competition held at the football field at Holmes. The first competition was on October 15, 1983. Schools from Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky participated, totaling over 2,000 plus band members. The competition also had over 5,000 spectators. The competition gained financial aid from 675 industries and businesses. The Holmes Castle Marching Classic was able to profit $10,000 for the school. Around this time, Go Big Red was added to the pep tunes, and or possibly before. Go Big Red is a very easy yet loved song among the band and the fans of the band. Around this time, school pride was very strong. The Washington and Lee Swing is the fight song of Holmes High School, the song that is actually playing in the background currently. The lyrics have actually been displayed at the bottom of the screen. The 80s was considerably one of the best periods of the band. During the 80s, the band collected many trophies. The director during this time was Doug Johnson.
Thank you, AJ, for covering the 80s. You were very excited to do so. My name is Colin Concry. I am in the class of 2027, and I will continue the commentary for the rest of this. The 90s was a new, fresh restart for the band. By the early 90s, the band got new uniforms. This introduced a white jacket with red stripes and a cape. The director around this time was Greg Bingman. Mr. Bingman stayed at Holmes from 1988 to 1995 and 1996. Frank Sloan will then take over in 1997. Sadly, there's no recordings of shows from the 90s, but a lot of photos. Each state semifinal, the band was placed Class 3A. Sadly, by the later 90s, the band would start to see a slight decrease in members, though nothing too bad. Even with the slight decrease in members, the 90s is still considered a part of the golden age to some people. By the early 2000s, the band once again obtained new uniforms. These uniforms had a red jacket, white pants with a red stripe through them, and red shakos with white plumes. The 2000s was a really good shift for the band. Number of members were slowly decreasing, but also increasing at the same time. Luckily, by 2008 and 2009, the band was back at a Class 3A. Like mentioned before, Frank Sloan was the director of the band for the 2000s. Sadly, the 2000s wasn't exactly the greatest year for the school district bands. With the decrease of interest in the high school band from students, the district began defunding and cutting elementary bands in the 2000s. Though with the struggle of numbers, the band was still strong and powerful. Sadly, just like the 90s, there's no available videos of the 2000s marching band performing, but there are photos. By the 2010s, the band once again got new uniforms. Black plume, black shako, a red and black jacket with a white stripe and black pants. Unlike the years before, the band didn't need more than 120 uniforms. They wouldn't even use more than 30. KMEA classes Holmes at 3A through the 2010s, though KMEA's classing is based off a hybrid system. 3A is roughly 20 to 30 members during the 2010s. The band would go from a 100-member band to then less than 30-member band. With the huge decrease in members, the district took away elementary band. Though the band was smaller, the members never gave up hope. The band hasn't been in the state semifinals since 1994. This would be the first time in 18 years that the band would make it to state semifinals. On October 12, 2012, the band boarded the bus to Bourbon County where the quarterfinals were being held. The band needed to place in the top 8 to move on to semifinals. They placed in 6th. After this achievement, the band would also get state semifinals for 3 years. The director from 2011 to 2012 was Jarrett Murray. The director during 2013 to 2016 was Sarah Shamblin. Miss Shamblin tried her hardest to revive the band. Sadly, it didn't work too well.
Holmes High School Band, you may take the field.
This show is in Bourbon County, 2014. The 2020 started off slow and rough. The band had around 12 to 20 members around 2021 and 2024. By 2025, the band reached 29 members. Sadly, many dropped off and left. The band went down to 18. As the 2025 season ended and the 2026 season begins coming into view, the registration for band is almost 40, including Garb. This is the most the band has ever had since the early 2010s. The Holmes band itself has been growing just under 2 years. The band is currently a non-competitive football-only band. If the band reaches 40 members, Holmes will once again compete.